Hi friends, welcome back to my channel where I share everything related to my financial journey to debt freedom and financial independence. And one of the big milestones I've had in my financial journey is getting my first apartment last year. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. How much it cost me to get my first apartment and all the finances that surround it. I've been seeing a lot of videos lately of people getting their first apartment, more specifically completely furnishing their apartment in the first month, but I think it's more likely that the average person, like myself, will take a while to furnish their whole place. So I wanted to jump in and give some input on what that process was like for me. I'll also include a brief tour towards the end of the video of my semi-furnished apartment, along with the prices of some of the initial things I bought, and just to show you what my apartment looks like now before I fully furnish it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So first I want to start off by talking about my apartment hunting process. My search technically started in April 2023 and ended in June 2024 once I finally got this apartment. It was a long process involving a lot of hiccups and breaks in between, but I'm going to simplify everything for the sake of the video. Before I could even start my search, I had to determine how much rent I could afford. I started by using the common rule that my rent should be no more than 1/3 of my gross monthly pay. So since my gross monthly income is $4,166 per month, that means that my guideline is that I shouldn't spend more than $1,388 per month. I know that a lot of people end up having to go over that 30% rule anyways because the cost of living is so high. But funny enough, this guideline pretty much worked because my current rent is $1,392 per month and I'm $4 over what I technically qualified for. Now, as I found listings that met my criteria, I saved them to Notion in my apartment tracker database. So I track things like the status, of course, how much the rent was, the square footage, utilities such as if there was any flat rates or if anything was included, the amenities, the application fee, and any move-in specials, and a couple of other things. I inputted some sample information here just so you all could see exactly what it looked like, but I did create a free template of this apartment tracker that I used, so I'll leave a link below if you want to check it out. Moving on to the application process, I depended on rides from friends to look at apartments since I don't have a car. Thankfully, one of my friends was also apartment hunting, so I was able to tag along. And after all of my online research and in-person visits, I decided which ones I wanted to apply to. So I just put the total amount of places that I applied to during that time period I talked about before. So that was a total of 5 places, including my current place. And that was $175 that I spent in total for all of those applications. And fast forward to the end of my search, I got approved for this apartment and then I had to start paying the big bucks to actually secure the place. So for the sake of this video, I have divided my expenses into 3 sections. Everything I paid before I moved in, this was purely to get the keys and walk in the front door. And everything I paid to actually move from my previous place to this place, and then all of my moving expenses that I had to pay after I had moved in, such as deposits and whatnot. And the way I'm going to do this is in each toggle, I will list everything that is typically paid up front based on what I've seen online and compare that with what I paid instead. So let's start with everything I paid before I moved in, and we'll start with the holding fee. There were no holding fees due after my application was approved, but I have had experiences with other complexes that did require holding fees ranging between $100 to $500, and that's processed immediately after your application is approved. So if that's the kind of place you're applying to, be sure you have the money set aside for that. Next, I have renter's insurance. They required proof that I had renter's insurance before I moved in. Their insurance that they were offering was $12, but I already had an existing renter's insurance policy through Lemonade, which I really liked. So my policy is $15.66 per month. And then for my pet deposit, most people would pay this when they're moving in, but Koda is registered as my emotional support animal, aka the ESA. So I got the documentation and everything from my therapist, and because of that, I did not have to pay the pet deposit or the monthly pet rent. And then for the security deposit, this is typically the equivalent of 1 month of rent, but I opted for a monthly security deposit premium of $56 a month instead. It was cheaper to pay monthly than have that full month's rent up front. As I've said before in other videos, I am aware that paying the monthly security deposit premium means that that money is non-refundable, but considering the entire lease term, it would be cheaper to pay it monthly than pay the standard security deposit. And then of course we have first month's rent, which of course is equivalent to another month of rent. And they actually had a promotion to get your first full month of rent free as long as I applied and moved in within a certain time period, which I did. So I saved myself yet another $1,400. And then for prorated rent, I just put half a month's rent here just as an example, but this is going to be just the amount that you're paying if you move in the middle of the month. So since I moved into my apartment in the middle of the month, I paid partial rent for the days of the month that I would be there, and that was $882. So after the complex sent me the total of what I'd be paying directly to them, which would be the security deposit and the prorated rent, I had to go to the bank to get a cashier's check, and I had to pay a $10 fee for that. And then lastly, I did have to pay for Uber because, as I've said already, I don't have a car. So after I got approved, I needed to inspect my exact unit that I would be renting before I was signing or paying anything. And unfortunately, at this point, there was no one who could give me a ride, and I was working with a short time period. So I took an Uber there and back, and that was $41.17. So we'll update the totals here. And the typical amount that I should have paid before I got my keys was $4,089, but I actually ended up paying $1,004.83. So about a quarter of what I should have paid. Definitely saved myself a lot of money here. Next, we have everything that happened during the move. So this is everything moving from point A to point B, and I don't have a lot of expenses here. So starting with the moving truck / movers, I was originally going to get movers, but it just wasn't in the budget for the time that I was trying to move. And then getting a moving truck, I was going to use U-Haul, but there was not anything available. So I ended up just getting a rental car through Enterprise, and my friend and I did the move ourselves. We put half of my stuff in my rental car and the other half in her own car, and we were able to do it all in one trip. And then for moving supplies, I only got 2 things specifically for the move. So I got a back brace because I was not taking any chances considering I was moving everything with my friend. And I also got bungee cords to secure everything while I was in the car, and also because we were using a dolly and I didn't want things to fall. So I spent $48.09 on the moving supplies. And my total that I spent here was $195.53. And now we have the third section of expenses, which is everything I paid after I moved in that was still part of my lease requirements and everything that I needed to set up in the apartment. So first I have gas and electric. I had to show proof that I put these accounts in my name before I moved in, but the deposits for both of these were not due until the first bill in the following month. So for the gas deposit, that was $25, and for the electric deposit, that was $235. Now, this was a lot for me at the time, so I opted to do 3 monthly payments of about $78 each, and that made it a lot more manageable than paying the $235 up front. And then for water and sewer, this is billed directly through the complex, and I had to pay a $10 setup fee for that. And again, that was not due until the first bill of the following month. Next, we have internet, which I was actually hoping would be zero for my actual. I had originally planned to just pick up the modem from the Xfinity store and just set it up myself when I got here, but there was something going on with the wiring here in the apartment, and I work from home, so I had to get a solution fast. So I paid $10 for a temporary internet pass until the Xfinity technician could come. And then they charged me $100 for the internet installation fee, and the $100 was tacked on to my first bill in the following month. And then I had a balance with my former roommate. Koda damaged the blinds on 4 windows in the last apartment, so I had to pay for that. I'm telling y'all, he's low-key a troublemaker. But thankfully it wasn't like an astronomical amount that I had to pay for damages, and that was $82.92. And then lastly, I paid for the change of address through USPS. I know it's a small charge, but I'm trying to include every dollar and cent here, and that was $1.10. So the typical or estimated amount that I should have paid for after move-in should have been $326.10, and then my actual was $464.02. So I actually ended up spending more than I had planned, but it's not too bad of a difference, especially since I saved a lot of money in the before move-in process. So considering all of the moving expenses we just talked about, my total moving expenses was $1,664.38. I recognize that I had some very unique situations, especially since I saved a lot of money in my upfront costs, but I still just wanted to share what my numbers were for the sake of transparency. Now let's move on to my monthly living expenses, which is everything I pay on a monthly basis in order to live here. I'm going to skim through these pretty quickly because I already have a lot of videos on my channel talking about my monthly living expenses. Please feel free to check those out if you're interested, but let's just focus on the quick numbers for this video. So here's a quick snapshot at my living situation. I live in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. I work from home 4 out of the 5 days of the week, and I'm sure that definitely affects my utility bills. And also I use the community laundry room, which is on the first floor of this building, and I don't share with a lot of people, but obviously that decreases the amount of water usage that I have for my particular unit. And then I also have a dishwasher, so that affects my water bill as well. With all that being said, these are my living expenses, and I'm just talking about my rent and utilities here. So my rent is $13.92. The security deposit premium is $56. My water and sewer bill fluctuates, but it's about an average of $50 a month. And that does include a $4 monthly admin fee on top of my actual bill, which is annoying. My electric bill also fluctuates based on the season, but right now I'm saying $50. My gas bill is $30 a month. I actually set up budget billing so that I could just have one consistent gas number per month. And then internet, I pay $45.90, and renter's insurance, like I said before, is $15.66. So the total that I pay in rent and utilities each month is $1,639.56, and I'm comfortable with that. Again, if you want to see everything else that I spend in a month, I will leave a link below to my playlist of my monthly budget reviews. And now that we've talked about my entire process of getting here, I want to show you what here looks like. Let's head into the apartment tour. Right, so we are starting at the front door, and here is an overview of the space. So this is the living room, my office over there, Koda, of course. This is my kitchen behind this wall, and then there is the front entry closet. So starting with the windows, you'll see that I have a curtain track that goes along the entire wall, and then I have the curtains here. These were actually purchased within a week of me being here because Koda was chewing on the blinds. You can see here, I'll come up a little bit closer, they're actually up there at the top. And instead of completely removing the blinds, I just lifted them up. So the curtain track that goes all the way across was $48.99. And then I got a total of 6 curtain panels. So I have 2 here, 2 over there, and then 2 more in the bedroom. And total for all of the curtains, it was $167.88. So as you can see, my couch is next, and I got this from Amazon for $1,589.99, but I did the monthly payment plan with Affirm, and that was only $60.56 a month. I don't regret getting it early because I knew I would be stuck in my bedroom, and I did want to feel spread out in my place. However, I would have gradually bought all the pieces that I needed. I'm going to come to the back and show you, because this is a modular couch, and I would have just bought each piece individually instead of trying to rush and get it all at once. So I would buy just the love seat portion first, and then the ottoman, and then the middle piece. And if you all are interested in a full-on couch review, let me know in the comments below, because I've had it for over 6 months now, and I have a cat. So I feel like I could give a really in-depth review on the performance and everything. I also got the 2 end tables that you see here from Amazon, since I did not have a dining room table and I wanted just some multi-purpose furniture. So right now they're acting as end tables, but if I have people over, they can pull the trays in front of them and eat on those. And that was a total of $75.58 for both tables. And for those who might be wondering where the TV is, it is actually here on the kitchen counter. I have my projector here, and then the Roku. The projector was originally $100, but was on sale for $50, so I went ahead and grabbed that. And then the Roku was another $50, so about $100 total. And so whenever I want to watch TV, I just close the curtains, and then I have a big display here on the wall. I'll include a quick clip of what the projector looks like when it's fully set up and everything. And it makes for a really nice watching experience. And then coming over to my office, you'll see that Koda's stuff is kind of just anywhere. That's like a scratching pad, his cat tree, another cat donut, and then that's his food and water. And here's my desk. We're going to ignore the cord situation under there, but I already had my desk when I moved here, and then I bought the chair off of Amazon for $120. And this chair actually came with armrests, but I took them off so that I can sit crisscross applesauce when I'm at my desk. And then underneath my desk, I have the air purifier, because this is the HVAC room, and there's the vent right there. So since the kitchen is here, if I ever have any weird smells, this will catch it immediately. And now we're gonna turn around from the office area, and here's my kitchen. It's pretty small, but it's enough for me. This part of the cabinet does not have any storage, so I plan to get a rack that will go under here. And the only things that I bought for the kitchen was this trash can, which I got from Walmart for $60, and then this microwave that I got from Amazon for about $90. And that's pretty much it for the kitchen. And then in here I have the bathroom. I'm not sure if I'm going to turn on the light because there is a vent connected to it. I'll just do this real quick and then turn this off. Yeah, because that's probably too loud. But I do have a nightlight there that's just like light sensitive. And then I got this over the toilet shelf rack for $60 from Amazon. And that's pretty much it for the bathroom. Just your simple tub, sink, and toilet. So coming out of the bathroom, this is the hallway. We have the HVAC, the linen closet, and then here is my bedroom. So on the left, I have one closet and my hamper. And then to the right, I have my dresser, my exercise bike, another one of Koda's cat trees, and then this is another closet here. So when I moved in, I only had the dresser, and I got that from Amazon for $270 because it is real wood. And then for my mattress, this was $240, also from Amazon. And I went with the firm one so that I could get toppers and really customize it later. And then I have the bed frame, which was actually pretty recent. I got this for $150, also from Amazon. Alright everyone, I'm going to close out this video with the nighttime vibes of my apartment. To all of you who are trying to get your own apartment this year, I wish you the very best, and I will be including all the links and templates and resources that I mentioned earlier in the video down in the description, so be sure to check those out if you want a head start. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.